Hi, beautiful people. Hope you guys are all doing well. On Sunday night, without a crystal ball, seemed to have been very manic, making all these posts to her Instagram stories about the man that is actually suing her for defamation, Robert Shinn. I will get into those posts a bit later. But then come Monday, we find out that the reason for all those posts she was making to her Instagram stories was because there was a new filing made to the court that previous Friday. So that explains why Without a Crystal Ball was making all these many postings. And when I read those filings, it was such a good read. Let me just say, the attorney for the plaintiffs ate and left no crumbs. So, as you can see, last Friday at 5:50 p.m., the plaintiffs filed a response memorandum in support of motion for temporary injunction. What I took away from these filings is that they are fed up Without a Crystal Ball and her shenanigans. They tell the court that Without a Crystal Ball continues to make false statements and accusations and that she has no regard for the truth. She cannot and has not provided proof of her accusations and that her defamatory conduct is not protected under the First Amendment and that her reckless disregard of the truth while participating in litigation is not only defamatory, it is intentional, malicious, and designed to cause irreparable harm to the plaintiffs. Now let's get into the postings that she made. The first post she made, and as you can see, she shares a notice from the USPS official notification posted on October 12th of 2025. She says public notice for forfeiture of $105,222 seized from Robert Shinn's home on July 25th, 2025. She goes ahead and she states all the details are here where she made a post to her Instagram. No more big pimping, Roberto. Robert Shinn received the notice of forfeiture in a letter on September 9. The letter stated the feds were forfeiting his money under 18 U.S. 1981 and the funds were linked to federal crimes. His Minnesota attorney Amber Starvik filed a motion for emergency injunction on 9/17 to bar me from talking and accusing me of defaming him, and filed documents denying there was any federal investigation. Robert knew full well the motion was fraudulent and filed it anyway, costing me another $10,000 to defend myself. He's evil, in my opinion. As if in my opinion is going to save her now. Just my opinion. It goes on to show a filing from a case that's actually with Robert Shinn and others in California, to which she says, it's actually romantic how much Robert is obsessed with me, that he would lie in a Minnesota court that he's not under federal investigation. I think he's flirting with me. A letter from U.S. attorneys identifying him as a target. Several grand jury subpoenas for testimony. Another screenshot of a case that's going on in California, to which she says, imagine Robert Shinn calling the feds and saying, give me my money back, electronics, phones, and evidence of my crimes. Laughing face emojis. Despite repeated requests to the government to return their property, the government has refused to do so. Laughing face emojis. Robert's attorneys refuse to out him as the target. But public forfeiture notices prove he's the target and his money has been forfeited. Wonder how long until he can't pay attorney's fees to Amber Starvik. Tell me you're taunting the opposing counsel without telling me you are taunting the opposing counsel. Because remember I told you guys that she made these posts on Sunday evening, and I also told you guys that the filing was made the previous Friday. So she must have been foaming by the mouth after reading the filing from Amber Starvik. And again, when I say she ate and left no crumbs. So on Sunday evening, when Without a Crystal Ball was sitting back with a red wine thinking about everything, it must have gotten under her skin thinking about that filing. And in my opinion, since seeing she had the liquid courage, she went off and acted out making all these posts. Beware buyers, this listing is tied to Robert Shinn's real estate company. She goes on, wonder how much of this commission goes to Roberto, 60, 70 or 100%. I'm betting a lot. Look what I found. Robert Shinn's real estate company has a YouTube channel. Now give it 5 minutes before it's deleted. Robert's followers work hard for his money. allegedly. Mail fraud is one of the alleged crimes. Some of the civil lawsuit deals with Shin using his real estate company to recruit new members. 2 former members were clients of the agency. Within a year, the Shin crew had convinced them to sell their home, move into a rental, and hand over their equity, after taking control of their lives and isolating them from friends and family, allegedly. Now, those screenshots that Without a Crystal Ball was sharing, that is from a case in California with Robert Shin and others. Without a Crystal Ball has her own separate case in Minnesota that is dealing with Robert Shin, Miranda and James Derrick and 7M, not Shekinah Church. Also, as you know, Robert Shin's home was raided in July, and Without a Crystal Ball posted that he was arrested. And to this day, he has not been arrested. He is under federal investigation. And yes, money of his was seized. And this is just my opinion. Without a Crystal Ball is making it like he is begging and scrounging for this money back. No, it's just part of the legal process, as you can see from, I just Googled it. Now, I'm not defending Robert Shin and I'm not saying that he is not guilty. I am pointing out how Without a Crystal Ball is gaslighting people, trying to gain the public's sympathy. She goes ahead and flatters herself that Robert Shin is obsessed with her, and she states that he is lying in a Minnesota court whilst taunting his attorney Amber Starvik. As you can see from this filing, on page 5 it states, defendants now attempt to misrepresent plaintiffs' prior statements, claiming plaintiffs previously asserted they are not under investigation. Defendant's motion of law in opposition to plaintiff's motion for temporary injunction at 2 to 3 September 26, 2025. That is false. Plaintiffs have never denied the existence of an investigation. They have not denied the issuance of subpoena, nor have they contradicted themselves. Plaintiffs have consistently stated that no criminal charges have been filed. This distinction matters because falsely accusing plaintiffs of committing crimes when they have neither been arrested or charged is materially false and defamatory per se. This is not normal. Is she not reading the motions that are being filed to the court? Or is she living in denial? Well, here we are, once again, a new day, more manic postings, and it seems as though the drinking window was open. First post, still not defamation, to which she shares a screenshot of a filing from California where Robert Shin, his attorneys, asked for a 60-day extension in one of his cases in California. She goes on, still not defaming anyone while sharing a public court record where a lawyer confirms a federal investigation, grand jury, and the possibility of an indictment. Public records are not defamatory. Robert Shin is under investigation. Still not defamation. Here is the public legal notice of forfeiture, filed publicly at forfeiture.gov. Here you see the USPIS seized $105,000 from Robert Shin, and the money was taken due to its involvement in a crime. As a result, the money is subject to forfeiture to the federal government. As you guys saw in the most recent filing, I read it to you. They state that the plaintiff has never denied being under investigation. Let's take a look at this introduction of this filing. Defendants attempt to portray plaintiff's narrowly tailored request for temporary injunctive relief as a broad constitutional violation. It is not. Plaintiffs seek a limited injunction to stop ongoing, egregious, and irreparable harm caused by defamatory conduct that is not protected by the First Amendment. Plaintiffs satisfy the Dahlberg factors and have submitted specific evidence of harm that cannot be remedied by monetary damages alone. Defendant's conduct at issue is new and has severely escalated since the beginning of this litigation, and this court has not previously ruled on it. Defendants attempt to deflect from this reality by framing the motion as a litigation tactic, but the record does not support that claim. Instead, it shows a pattern of conduct designed to intimidate and obstruct. The court should grant the requested injunction to prevent further harm and to safeguard the integrity of these proceedings. It seems as though Amber Starvik knows Without a Crystal Ball very well, because that is exactly what these posts are meant to do: deflect from what they are trying to achieve and asking the court to stop without a crystal ball from spreading misinformation. For instance, going back to page 5, it says defendants falsely accused plaintiffs of forging legal documents and stated that plaintiff Shin had been arrested and is going to prison for sex trafficking, serious criminal allegations that are demonstrably false based on public record. Also, in this filing, the plaintiff's attorney mentioned and bring attention to the court how Without a Crystal Ball has taken evidence that they received in discovery that was for attorney's eyes only, posted it to her social media, doxing people. So, did Without a Crystal Ball's deflection work? Did it make her feel better? She does have an upcoming hearing on Friday. I'm not sure if anything will be done, but as we know, Robert Shin has not been arrested. He is under investigation, and as they say, innocent until proven guilty. Now let me end this video with my favorite part of the filing. Defendants' threats of fees and sanctions are a baseless attempt to intimidate plaintiffs. Defendants' threat to seek attorney's fees and sanctions has no basis in law or fact. Plaintiffs brought this motion in good faith, supported by new developments of irreparable harm that were not present when the court denied injunctive relief in 2022. Plaintiffs have presented a narrowly tailored request grounded in current facts, including escalated defamatory and harassing conduct, mischaracterization of this litigation, criticism of this court's decisions. These are not recycled claims. They are materially different from what the court previously considered in the 2022 motion. The parties had not yet participated in discovery. Now, the parties have completed discovery and defendants have submitted no evidence in support of the statements they have been making, which are the subject of this motion. Either defendants are hiding evidence which was properly requested from plaintiffs, or they are making statements they know to be false, as they have provided plaintiffs with no evidence to support these claims. You know what that reminded me of? When she was besties with Lindsay Chrisley, and she was all for Lindsay Chrisley. Her and Lindsay were besties, and she was actually, in one of her videos, she stated that one of the Chrisley Knows Best crew members contacted her and told her that everything that Lindsay Chrisley said on the Dr. Phil show was the truth. Lindsay was telling the truth. So when she was sued by Todd Chrisley, allegedly there was no such person. No such person existed. This just took me back to that. And I'm like, wow, has this woman not learned anything? So you guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another, and don't forget to make good memories. Bye guys.